Fox 61 breaking news now.
We begin with breaking news tonight in Plainville, where crews are fighting a fire at an apartment building on West Main Street. Thank you so much for joining us on the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Annette Montgomery. Let's get right out to Fox 61's Kayla Cade live on the scene. Kayla, what are you seeing out there now?
Hey, Annette. Yeah, the road actually just opened. At first, it was closed between Pierce Street and North Washington Street here. And actually, fire crews, they actually just left. But the fire marshal is actually still on scene right now. They're investigating this fire right now. You can see one of the crews is actually looking inside that door right now. Now, I was told by Chief Thomas Moschini that they actually had to break down that door. And you could see the glass on the floor there, on the ground there, because they had to access this fire. And he also told me that the fire was coming from the back of this building, which is 125 West Main Street. Now, when we looked it up on Google, it says this building is home to 3 different businesses, including Defining Photo and Video, Lux Lounge Hair and Artistry, and Kelly F. Peterson Photography. Now, this is also right across from Congregational Church of Plainville. Now, the fire is out, and also when we talked to Chief Moschini, he said there was a lot of fire fuming when they showed up, but most of the fire stayed outside, and they were also able to knock it down quick. They said no injuries were reported, and also the guy who owned the building was also here on scene, and they had assistance from Southington and Bristol. And also they said since they were close to the firehouse, or rather since this building was close to the firehouse, they were able to make it here quick. Now, again, like I said, the fire marshal is on scene, so we do not know the cause of the fire, but we will know as soon as they let us know those details, since it is under investigation. But for now in Plainville, Kayla Cade, Fox 61.
Thank you, Kayla. Well, a woman is dead and a man is fighting for his life in the hospital. It comes as tonight investigators believe this was the result of a domestic incident. Police found that man and woman inside a home on Oak Street in Winstead Monday night. Fox 61's Tim Lateau has the latest from police and heartbroken neighbors.
People in Winstead are in disbelief after learning a husband is in critical condition and his wife is dead. One neighbor tells me you couldn't ask for better people right across the street.
We all pretty much grew up together. I mean, she was like the neighborhood mama.
Hearts are heavy in Winstead after neighbors heard about the death of 54-year-old Carrie Stetson. The beloved neighborhood mom was also the owner of Railway Cafe in town.
She treated us like royalty when we went in the restaurant.
Police say a 911 call from a family member late Monday night led to a horrific scene.
When they entered the home, they discovered there was blood inside. So they obviously were alarmed. They did the right thing. They backed out. They called us. Officers immediately responded. And when they entered the home to investigate, they found the victim deceased and another person seriously injured.
Police say Carrie was found dead. Her 67-year-old husband, Leon Stetson, was seriously hurt. Leon was airlifted to Hartford Hospital and remains in critical condition. Court records show 2 protective orders against Leon Stetson in April. The details of the orders were unavailable. Neighbor Lionel Aslan describes the couple as kind and giving people. He was born on Oak Street 87 years ago and has known the family for generations.
His grandfather dug up the curb out here. He was working for the town for me. So, like I say, we go way back.
And Police Chief Chris Succi knows the family personally. Carrie served on numerous town boards. Succi says she always took care of his officers at a restaurant.
Carrie Stetson and her family mean so much to this community. They're pillars of our community, they're immersed in our community, and it's a tremendous loss for our communities.
For Aslan, he's never had better neighbors in nearly 9 decades and says he never will.
I'd say they're one of the better neighbors that you could ever want for yourself, because they never asked for nothing, and they're always willing to help.
The Connecticut State Police Major Crimes Division continues to investigate the case. Keep you updated as we learn more information. In Winstead, Tim Lateau, Fox 61.
Tonight, the East Hartford community came together to remember an 18-year-old whose body was found over the weekend in Glastonbury. Friends and family of Isaiah Williams gathered in Martin Park to light candles, release balloons, and share some memories.
Isaiah was love. Isaiah was strength. Isaiah was community. And everyone gathered here because they love him and they wanted to release those balloons to show that they were releasing some of the pain of the loss. Mom wanted everyone to tap into everything they have within them, to keep fighting, to not give up, and to keep the legacy of Isaiah's love going.
And East Hartford police say Williams was reported missing on June 2nd. The department is ruling his death as a possible drowning, but it is still under investigation. Right now, New London police are investigating a deadly two-car crash that happened this afternoon. Officers responded to the intersection of Phillips Street and 4th Avenue just after 12 p.m. and found two drivers involved in the crash. Police say one driver was unresponsive at the scene and later pronounced dead at the hospital. The other driver was also taken to the hospital for treatment. Tonight, that investigation remains active, and police say if you have any information that can help, please contact the New London Police Department. A 22-year-old Meriden man died this morning after state police say his vehicle rear-ended a tractor trailer on I-91 South in Windsor. Investigators say Frank Mute crashed into the back of the truck around 11:15 a.m. near exit 35B and was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the tractor trailer was not injured. If you witnessed the crash or have dash cam video, please contact state police. A New Britain man has pleaded guilty to a federal cocaine trafficking charge. Prosecutors say 28-year-old Arnaldo Perez Rios used a storage unit in New Britain to support his drug trafficking operation. During a search of that unit in July of last year, investigators say they found about 770 grams of cocaine. Perez Rios is scheduled to be sentenced in September.
We had the warmth today without the humidity. Tomorrow, the humidity joins the party, but it's not until Thursday and Friday that it is hot. We have issued a weather impact alert for Thursday and Friday, both in the afternoon and early evening, because during that time frame, it could feel like 95 to near triple digits away from the Connecticut shoreline. And we like to issue these weather impact alerts when we think the weather could impact your day. So it's impacting those kids and educators in hot classrooms or people who work outside. I mean, it is by no means unusual for this time of year. It is June, but we still wanted to give you a heads up that it turns hot. Temperatures right now are in the 60s to right around 70 degrees. See more clouds to the west of us. That'll be our weather for tomorrow, not that blue sky that we had out there today. But it's still a nice day. Again, it will start to feel more humid. High temperatures will be up around 80 degrees, and there could be an isolated shower during the afternoon and especially into the early evening. So just a heads up there. And then it is hot and humid for Thursday and Friday. The heat continues into the weekend, but the humidity does not. We'll talk about that, plus the thunderstorm threat coming up, Annette.
Thank you, Rachel. Well, tonight, Norwich police are investigating after reports of a gun on a school bus today. Officers responded after a 911 caller reported that a female student may have had a weapon. However, police say no gun was found and there is no threat to the public. First Student, the bus company involved, says it is working with Norwich Public Schools to review and reinforce safety protocols following this incident. Well, right now, New Britain leaders are calling on former Mayor Erin Stewart to repay money she's accused of misusing and to do so as soon as possible. The city's Corporation Council has set 3 deadlines for those repayments, but has not said what action, if any, would be taken if Stewart fails to pay up. Now, the letter says she owes more than $102,000 in attorney's fees, which is due July 1st. Due on August 1st is the more than $107,000 for separation payouts, and then due on September 1st, the more than $31,000 for tuition reimbursements. Altogether, that totals more than $241,000. And the Corporate Council says that letter serves as a formal notice that the pension Stewart secured is now canceled. The city says if it finds she misused any more taxpayer dollars, they will try to get that money back as well. An independent report released last week recommended the city seek repayment. Investigators also suggested those findings be reviewed by state and federal law enforcement. Stewart has not been charged with any crimes as of now. If you would like to read more of that report, we have it on our website at fox61.com. Fire crews in New Haven say a woman jumped out of her apartment window to her death. And it comes after trying to escape that raging fire. Now, we first brought you this story as breaking news last night. This afternoon, Fox 61's Aaron Coogan returned to the scene and spoke with neighbors about their scary evacuation.
Well, it all happened at this 7-story apartment complex on Fountain Street. And while the fire started on the 5th floor, crews say when they arrived, folks throughout the building were seen dangling out of windows, calling for help and trying to escape the smoke and flames. Libby Ringel says it all started with a brief interruption to a quiet night on the couch.
And I was watching TV and I heard a weird noise. I thought it was the TV show. And it was a fire alarm. So I opened the door and smoke just rolled into my apartment.
A resident at the 200 Fountain Street apartment complex in New Haven, she said minutes turned to seconds as she realized her windows were blanketed in a thick plume of black smoke.
I saw fire at one window. There were people waving pillowcases, kind of hanging out of the window.
It was just after 8 o'clock Monday night. New Haven fire crews responded to calls of flames coming from the 5th floor of the complex. Neighbors say more than a dozen emergency units were dispatched. But before their arrival, evacuation efforts were well underway, with the evacuees themselves stepping up to help neighbors escape the burning building.
I looked up. The first thing I thought about was, like, where's my mom? Where's my mom?
My next door neighbors both use walkers. And I knew that was going to be hard to get them down the steps. So went over and got my neighbors going and got out.
When crews arrived, this was the sight they were met with: billowing black smoke and people desperately hanging out of windows calling for help.
I feel bad for real because it's like I'm around this is my environment. It's like never wish this on nobody.
New Haven Fire Chief Dan Coughlin says despite their attempt to evacuate everyone to the school across the street, one woman jumped from her apartment window. She was rushed to the hospital where she later died. 3 others were also rushed to the hospital for smoke inhalation. Some folks were able to return to their apartment at the end of the night, but we did see state and local fire investigators remain on scene into the early morning to try and determine a cause. As we learn more, we're going to have it for you on air and online at fox61.com. Reporting in New Haven, Aaron Coogan, Fox 61.